Hi everyone, welcome to our video for today and to this blog about John's Gospel. And today it's the first day we're looking at the theme of beauty. Thank you very much to Bongi and to Avril for all that they shared with us yesterday as part of the church service. It was very inspiring, and the sheer passion and love and generosity that Bongi shared was very not only touching but inspiring. So thank you for that. Today we're going to look at Psalm 19, one of the great psalms of the Old Testament, and about how we can find similar beauty in creation, and then from that to see how it relates to our relationship with God. So this is something of what the psalmist has to say. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal knowledge. And yet they have no speech, they use no words. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens God has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived from its warmth. There's some beautiful words in that, and it reminds me of perhaps days back in the summer when we had sunshine and things like that, which is very different than at the moment. But those moments I hope we can all remember where perhaps we were out in our gardens, out in the wider creation, experience something of the warmth of the sun upon our cheek and the wind upon our face, and we felt really at one with creation, really at one with life, and maybe hearing the birds or feeling the wind and hearing the wind in the trees or whatever. However that memory comes to you. For me, I often have such memories about sitting by the sea and listening to the tide lapping on the pebbles in Brittany, etc., etc. Whatever works for you. But this is the point. It's seeing not just that this is poetic, but it's highly relational. And that relational way of seeing is indeed beautiful. And this is often how the Bible works. It very rarely talks about beauty as such, but it points us to see what is beautiful. And indeed, by seeing what is beautiful, to see how God sees things, and he sees things relationally. St. Francis of Assisi picked this up in one of his great poems and prayers, where he talks about brother sun and sister moon. At one level that could be seen both then and now as somewhat sort of romantic, but there's actually a deep wisdom that goes on in seeing this way, because it helps us to see how interconnected all creation is. There's that wonderful sort of phrase and story I remember back from the summer, where we discovered that actually by what we've done to the whales, not the country, but to the animals over the years, that has had a massive impact upon coral and coral plankton, because those two great sort of wonderful parts of creation are intimately interconnected, and yet we've never known that before. But now we know of that interconnection and how one is dependent upon the other. So us not looking after the physical whales is having an impact not only on coral, but then upon how coral is even more creative in being able to deal with carbon dioxide, and more intense on dealing with carbon dioxide than the Amazonian rainforest, etc., etc. All these things are interrelated and have a complex way of living and loving one another, and so praising God, our Creator. And of course then the psalmist encourages us not only then to see this beauty, but to understand that this also speaks about a beauty of the relationship between God and us, and God and creation. And that this is then the focus of the rest of the psalm. The psalmist goes on to talk and draw the analogy between the sun as the physical body, and then the law, and perhaps in our sense, the person of Jesus, overarching not just then our religious part of who we are, but indeed the whole of our life. The way the sun rises in the morning, especially in the Middle East, and the warmth of its heat lasting throughout the whole day, and nothing is hidden from its light. In the same way, the person of Jesus, and in the Old Testament, the idea of the law, actually shines over everything that we are and everything that we do, not just working life in segments, but indeed turning them, as I've said so many times, through 90 degrees and seeing them as layers of everything that is, like a wonderful kaleidoscope or rainbow. This is indeed beauty, and indeed the Bible points to as wisdom, and there's a whole wisdom tradition within Scripture. So this sort of opens up the theme and the way God starts to see beauty, and we're going to be exploring this over the next couple of weeks. And it's very engaging, very exciting, and full of energy and life. So I hope you enjoy it. But maybe if you've got time, just look up Psalm 19 before we close today, or another one of the great Psalms, Psalm 8. Have a good rest of the day. God bless. Bye for now.